All right, hello, Nick. So we're going to talk about two movies you've edited today, Butcher's Crossing and Your Lucky Day. But what would you say the responsibility of an editor is?
Ooh, good question. I think the responsibility for me is to kind of help create the experience of the movie,
Hmm.
the kind of like how an audience sits, saturates, and watches the film, and hopefully they're able to push it where however the director was trying to plan for it to begin with, but. Yeah, just like how, the kind of experience. Yeah, how someone's supposed to experience it.
Nice. Okay. So how did it impact you to work with so much Nick Cage footage?
Well, I mean, who doesn't want to work with Nick Cage footage? I think the biggest Nick Cage thing was like how to cut Nick Cage. Which Nick Cage are you putting in your movie from the materials you get? And I think for Butcher's Crossing, it was very much, we wanted it to be as grounded and kind of, you know, uh, feel just, this guy is real,
Hmm.
and the environment's real, and it's, not have, we didn't want it to go off any like deep ends of to where you're taken out of the film. And I mean, the one thing about Nick, he gives everything in every take, and he was so invested on this movie. And no, it was a pleasure. I mean, it was amazing, yeah, to work with
Nice.
him. Yeah.
I got to do the TIFF red carpet of this film.
Oh, no kidding, cool, I was
And so
there,
I
yeah.
talked to Nick Cage then,
I
like
passed
last
by,
year.
or I was able to get away from the red carpet when I was there. But that's cool, awesome.
Yeah. We talked about his favorite Western. Do you know what
Oh
it
yeah.
is?
No. What is his favorite Western?
It is Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's
But
a
you
good
had to
choice.
watch
Yeah.
my clip to learn more about it. But anyways, what was the most thing about working on Your Lucky Day?
I mean, Your Lucky Day was, uh, I mean, just a passion project. The director and I went to film school together. We went, we did the short together like 13 years ago.
Okay.
And so it was just, I mean, it was something that we both cared about a lot. And when he said that he was going to make it, I was like, there's no way you're going to stop me from being a part of it. and and so it was from the beginning to end, a very, very fast schedule, 15-day shoot, all nights. And then we spent a decent amount of time in editorial, just trying to find the film, make it the best we could, get it down to a good working runtime that people would enjoy. And yeah, no, it was a dream come true for that film. Yeah,
Okay, so you were so invested in it. I guess that was the most fun, the most rewarding part of it. I guess.
big time. Yeah, I mean, it's like that film for me is like a little baby that we were able to bring into the world, and we're just excited to see people enjoying it
Yeah.
and having fun with it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I just get the image of like an editor locked in a room by himself, looking at footage endlessly. And I'm wondering though, do you take little breaks? How does that work? Because I'm sure at a certain point you just can't see anything anymore.
I I do, yeah, no, you have to. My brain does it automatically, and it's gotten a lot worse with social media and all the stuff,
Right.
distractions that we have
Yeah.
now. But like, no, I have these little like, I'll take little micro breaks. But if I'm
Mm,
working, for instance, like Your Lucky Day,
right.
we knew we had to do that film in a hurry, and so the director and I went to and got a place that we could kind of just bunker down and just work together for a week and a half,
Oh.
and to cut the director's cut, the first director's cut. and that was very much like, so I was waking up at 7 in the morning and going to bed at 3:30. So
Jeez.
it was just, and it was just us. I had Encanto on repeat to wake him up, and and it was just, work, work, work to kind of like get that film quickly into a place that we could start really working with it, and so on that, no, I mean, I also, if I'm working on something, I just kind of get lost in it. So, you know, my
The
family has,
immersion's fun.
would say what?
Like the immersion is it
Oh yeah, I
immersion
get
that's
lost. I mean,
fun.
for me, it's just, it's like, it's art, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just forget all about everything else. My family will remind me that, it's like, out here that they need me. And, my son will knock on my door and be like, yo, it's dinner time. But no, I love them all. And, but, it's, it is easy to get lost in it because I love it. I love doing it.
So tell me about, so you had these sessions, these very intense, long sessions. And did you feel like you had some free reign? Or I mean, I'm sure there were particular notes as well, but tell me a little bit about that working relationship.
With Dan, with On Your Lucky
Yeah,
Day. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a pure collaboration. I mean, we were
Mm,
just, it's like I did the first editor's cut, and then from there it's like we watched it and then just refined and attacked and kind of challenged everything to
mm.
find the best, film. Some things from that first cut still remain, a lot of things don't, you know what I mean? And just have gotten adjusted or refined to get to the finished, piece. But for us, it's like, and for me, it's not any, ideas have to be challenged to be, I think,
Mm.
good, to end up good. And so the collaboration of like, of the back and forth, it only, creates diamonds, so that's
Oh,
I think, that's the goal.
nice. And how do you characterize your relationship with Gabe for Butcher's Crossing? What was that relationship like?
Yeah. Well, so I didn't know Gabe
Yeah.
before I worked on it. He had already shot the film, and then came and found me through a mutual friend after the fact. And
Mm,
so it was the same kind of thing where we were just, once we were in the edit, we were just trying to make the edit as good as possible.
mm.
It was also a shorter timeline, and so we were, cutting, sending a cut out to friends and family, and
Yeah.
to get a little bit of perspective, and then cutting again on Monday. It's
Mhm.
like every Friday was like we're sending a cut out. It was very fast and furious, and but we were trying to be within that, as thoughtful and caring about the characters and the story that we were telling for the the audience's experience.
Who are other important collaborators for an editor besides the director?
Well, composers,
Yeah.
the mixers, and sound designers, and it's funny because both Butcher and Your Lucky Day have the same mixer, Roland
Oh,
Voss over in Portugal, and he he worked on Butcher's Crossing and I met him on that, and then I was able to connect the dots for Your Lucky Day. So and he had worked on a film called The Green Room, which we were kind of like,
oh, cool.
which would, like, early friends had said, oh, this is kind of like The Green Room, and we were like, we were totally on board with that. And so as soon as, like, I found out he'd also worked on The Green Room, I was like, oh, this could be a really good fit,
Yeah.
for him to help out on it. So yeah, no, he killed it.
Nice. Green Room's awesome
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. One of my
Got
faves.
Oh yeah, you gotta love it. So, do you feel like you're just doing final touches, or would you say an editor is more of a writer than people generally give credit for?
Oh, there's a lot of writing in editorial, a lot. And it's because it's like, there's the film that you write, the film you shoot, and then the film that you cut.
Yeah,
And I think it comes at the, when you're cutting the film, you're finally making the thing that people are going to see and
yeah,
experience. And there's just things that you can't expect that people are gonna key into, whether it's like, oh, I thought there was going to be a twist in this, or I thought that I was expecting something, or just
Yeah.
expectations and reality of, and or a line that a character says, triggers something in the audience's mind that doesn't get fulfilled, or is something that you don't want the audience to know yet. And so there's a lot of, it's more, again, I think it's more editing in writing. It's not necessarily writing, but it is just like refining the words spoken to get to a place that is the most enjoyable, for the audience.
Nice. Okay. How many times do you figure you've seen Your Lucky Day and Butcher's Crossing combined?
Well, how old am I? I a lot for both. I mean, I think we had more time in post on Your Lucky Day,
Hmm.
and so probably seen that film more. But like I just watched Butcher's Crossing. It just released this last weekend, so
Yeah, nice.
I went to theater and watched it. So, and that was awesome. I got to bring my wife and kid, and it was
Oh,
great.
fun.
So yeah, yeah, and Your Lucky Day should be out in a couple weeks. I'll be seeing it, I'm sure, a couple times then. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
But in the editing booth, do you think you've seen them like 100 times each?
Oh, easy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
also like you're watching, because you can't watch it through every single day. You
Right.
have to,
Right.
you have, so like you're watching scenes over and over and over, and
Yeah.
then you get to then you're like, okay, well, let me watch this scene, but with the last two scenes, so that I can get kind of a little bit of runway
Sure.
into the scene and feel it out. And so then you're watching it's tons of overlap, tons of, I think cumulative, watching, and then you'll finally get to the point where it's like, let's watch the film again. And then you watch it, and you're like, okay, the things are working, and it's exciting, but there's always a little pit in your stomach when you're like, okay, we got to watch it again. Just and knowing that either the things are going to work, or the things are going to still be, issues that you're trying to fix.
All right. Well, Nick, thanks a lot for your time. It was an interesting conversation. For those who watch this interview and now feel compelled to edit cinema, what is your advice to them?
I mean, yeah, edit as much as possible. I would say find some collaborators, directors, or shoot some stuff yourself, but it's
Hmm.
really just comes down to getting some good materials to play with in an editing software, and make a scene, or and just do the thing, because the one thing that happens for editors is that at first you're learning the software, but at some point the software gets out of the way and you're
Right.
just making the thing,
Yeah.
and the software is just the tool. And
Hmm.
so you don't, it's like, the more you work with the softwares, the better off you'll be. Yeah.
And do you which software do you recommend?
I recommend, I mean, I work, these films were cut in Avid,
Yeah.
but I also work in Premiere sometimes.
Hmm.
And I mean, anything that again, you can get and put your hands on. I know Resolve's out there doing its thing, and a lot of
Hmm.
people are using it as well. And
Okay.
yeah, the price of entry is a lot less expensive these days than it was when I was starting out. So yeah, but I love Avid for long form projects personally.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your time. It was
Yeah,
nice talking to you today.
absolutely. Very nice to meet you.
Likewise.